Hey Kotaku, we're still here at PAX East 2015. We just took a look at Gigantic, and now I am here with John Hargrove, who's a player progression designer.
Yep.
John, why don't you tell us what that means?
Player progression is just all about the rewards players receive. At the end of match, you get some amount of gold and account experience, and I'm basically designing the rewards that you get to unlock with that gold and what kind of rewards you get for reaching certain account rank thresholds. Just long-term goals for players.
Now, what are you guys noticing in terms of the unlocks for each different hero? You've got how many heroes in the game right now?
16 right now, we're showing at PAX East.
Right, so are you noticing that people want certain things more than others? Because that's part of the meta game, right? The thing that keeps people playing a game for longer and longer. What are you guys noticing?
As coaches, we're sitting behind people a lot, watching them choose their upgrades, and we're learning what the tendencies are in terms of, for example, with Charnock, I think a lot of people have been taking the double burn duration on his left mouse button.
Right, so the fire burns longer, more damage.
Yeah, you start to learn what the go-tos are, and I think here we're seeing a lot of we're sticking with the simpler ones that are more easily communicated, like bonus damage, bonus health, which I think is fine because everybody's learning the game here. I think as people start to experience the game more, they'll start to branch out to some of the more complex ones that are more role sensitive or map sensitive or specific to countering the enemy hero compositions.
Yeah, because I played as Trip, who's the very fast assassin.
Yeah, she's tricky.
Yeah, and I find myself able to get up close quickly and do a lot of up close damage, but very vulnerable from afar. Like people were sniping at me, and despite my movement speed being a little bit quicker, it felt quicker anyway. But I was still getting
she's fast.
Yeah, I was still getting nailed a lot by ranged shooters. So what kind of advice would you give somebody like me?
Yeah, I would go all in on stealth upgrades. She has I think a couple ones that increase the length on her stealth duration.
Right.
And if you know when you're out in the open, like crossing those sniper lanes, just stealth across the sniper lane to where you think they might be able to see you, and just get into tunnels or cover and just. Yeah.
And sneak your way across.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the things I found really intriguing was the idea that, the Guardians, eventually if they both get powered up, start doing battle in the middle of the map. How often are you seeing that in run-throughs now? Is it usually one side's Guardian gets down before that ever happens? What's the consistency on that?
Yeah, the way it works is each team is fighting to power up their Guardian, and you do that by controlling points on the map with your creatures and also getting kills, enemy hero kills. And then once one of the Guardians is powered up, it'll rampage across the map into the enemy team's Guardian lair, knock over their Guardian, and for 20 seconds it'll be vulnerable, at which point the enemy team, if they're doing it right, actually get in there and convert damage on that wound. We call it converting the wound. And once you've knocked 2 wounds off, it'll move on to a phase called the Clash, and that's when the Guardians actually come in tighter in the map and actually sort of accelerate the process. It's kind of like the sudden death rules. You can no longer summon creatures at that time, so it's really just about fighting with what was already on the battlefield. But yeah, the clash actually happens in every game after either 2 wounds have been converted or a certain number of rampages have taken place.
So you guys just announced at GDC, I believe, that you're coming to Xbox One, right?
Yep.
Is the game going to have cross-platform play at all?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys are going to be able to support the community in that way.
Yep.
Do you predict any kind of advantage for one side or the other?
Well, it might vary hero by hero. I think some could be better with keyboard, mouse versus controller, but my understanding right now is that it's going to be opt-in. So if there is any perceived advantage from one side or the other, you can still play in a solely Xbox One world or solely PC world.
Great.
Or you could be in between. If your friend plays on Xbox One and you're on PC, you guys can play together in that neutral ground, so to speak.
Right.
But it's up to the player. If there's any perceived advantage from a particular input, well, I mean, I have full control over that input, because if you play Gigantic on Xbox One, you can also play it on your PC. So I think players will just figure it out. And
do you have a beta date announced yet?
Well, we're in alpha right now. I don't think we've announced when we're going to the next beta phase, but that's all TBD. We'll figure it out.
So that was a quick look and an interview about Gigantic, which is going to be coming to PC and Xbox One. Thank you, John.
Yep, thank you.